All right, so looking at your results from the pretest, it looks like we're going to need to cover pretty much all of slope, which was to be expected. When we did our survey on how you all felt about slope, it was the one that was the top of the list as far as having the least confidence in it. When I talked to the in-person algebra class about it, uh, it was one of those units where they felt like they were going to struggle. They didn't really remember how to do it. And I guess the good thing is, we have seventh graders in our class, in our algebra class, and it's kind of different because these notes are going to be the same notes that the in-person algebra class is going to see and use, and also the online algebra class. The OLA class is going to use these same notes. So in that OLA class, that online class, there's 23 students. 7 of you all in that class are in 7th grade. So might be a little struggle for you. I know you haven't seen some of the work, some of the topics that they've seen. You've kind of been bumped up, but your MAP scores show that you should be up to the challenge. So we're gonna test you and find out. But so good thing is, kind of seems like everybody we have in both classes needs to review a slope or needs to learn it for the first time. So we're going to start from the basics on slope and work from there. So what we're going to do today is today's Monday. I've looked at your results and I'm going to go ahead and make this video now and go ahead and post it, but you don't have to do it until Tuesday. Tuesday's assignment will be to watch these video notes, take the video notes. If you feel like it's something that you need to take the notes over, I'm going to kind of leave that up to you, be in the algebra class, give you a little extra responsibility, and kind of as I go through it, you decide, hey, that's something new, or that's something I don't remember. I need to take notes on this. I need to write this down, compared to if you're sitting here and you're like, okay, this is kind of a review. I remember this some, but it's just a refresher. If you feel like you need to write it down, write it down. If you feel like, you know what, I remember this, I've got it, then you go right ahead and just kind of follow along with us and pay attention. Also, I'll try and slow down. I know sometimes when I'm making these videos, I start to talk a little quick since there's nobody in the room with me. It's just me sitting here talking to myself. So bear with me on that. But here we go. So what we're going to do today is go over, I can identify types of slope, and I can find slope from 2 points on a graph. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about is what is slope? A lot of you have already heard of it. Some of you haven't. So what is it? We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to figure out if I have a graph and I put 2 dots on that graph, 2 points, what's the slope between them? So let's start off taking a look at what is slope. The steepness of a line is the slope. So if we look over here at the little roller coaster, how steep is the incline? How steep is it going up? What about going down? All right. So the steepness of a line is called slope. So if you feel like, hey, I need to write that down, I need to take these notes, you might need to pause the video right now and go ahead and make sure you have paper and pencil. That'd be a good idea for all of you, because I'm going to give you some problems to complete while we're doing these notes. So you'll need to write them down, make sure you get the right answer. So go ahead and pause the video, go get your piece of paper, get your pencil to write with, and then we'll go ahead and continue here. So hopefully you've done that. So the steepness of a line is called slope. Looking at this, says if we were in class, I'd have a volunteer come up and you'd circle the line with the biggest slope. So if we got these 3 lines, which one has the biggest slope, which one has the biggest incline, which one would be the biggest climb, the hardest climb, you're going uphill, which one's the steepest? And that would be this last one. It has the biggest slope because it's the steepest. All right, so the letter we use for slope is a lowercase m. Why? Well, a little fun fact for you, when they were coming up with it, it comes from the French word right there. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. So it comes from that French word, which means to climb or to rise. So, that's back when they were deciding what should we use? What should we use? That's what they came up with. So anytime we talk about slope, we're going to use the lowercase m. So if the slope was 5, we put m equals 5. If your slope was negative 2/3, we would put m equals negative 2/3. The slope is m. So when given the graph of a line, we need to know a simple definition of slope. What is slope? Slope is the rise over the run. the rise over the run, which means it's the slope is the ratio of the lines. Rise is its vertical change divided by its run, which is its horizontal change. All right, that's what they mean by rise over run. So when you're looking at this picture, the slope would be the rise over run. How much does it go up over top of? How much does it go over? Now the rise could be positive or negative because it could be in your picture how much the line goes up or how much the line goes down. The run is always going to be how much it changes as it goes to the right. You're never going to find the run by going left. It's always going to be you go up or down and then to the right, and that's going to make a lot more sense right down here as we look at this graph. So we have this graph on the right, and it wants to know how to find slope when given the graph of a line. So here's your notes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and pause the video. Write these notes down. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you do to find slope? And then after you write them down, unpause the video and you can listen to me talk about them. So go ahead, and hopefully by now you've already hit pause, wrote these down. I'm going to assume you've done that. Hopefully you've all done that. So first thing we're going to do, mark 2 points on the line. So you would look at this line and you would go through it and you pick any point you want that lines up perfectly. And what I mean by lines up perfectly is it's going to line up where 2 of these lines are crossing. So it'd be like, oh, 2 lines cross there, and then your dot's right there where they cross. So that's what I mean by where they line up perfectly. So if you come up here, you could say, oh, I hit a spot right there. That lines up perfectly. And then keep following it. No, right there. That one lines up right on that spot. So put a dot there. All right, mark 2 points. Then you're going to start from the left point and find the rise or the fall. So the rise or the fall. So up would be a positive number. Down would be a negative. So if I want to go from the left point to the right point, I'm going to start at the left point. Do I need to go up or do I need to go down to get to this point? I'm going to go up. So I go up. How much do I go up? That's the rise. I went up 1. So I went up 1. And then the run, number 4, find the run. We will always run to the right. So if I go up 1, I've got to go to the right 1, 2. So your slope is 1/2. How did I go from this point to that point? I went up 1 over 2. So that's all you do. So you want to find the slope, put your 2 dots on there, start from the left point and figure out, do I need to go up or down, and then how far to the right. If you go up, it's a positive number. If you go down, it's a negative number. And then how much to the right. All right, so what we're going to do is I'll move down, and then we'll look at some different ways you could have solved this exact same problem. So if we look, these are the exact same line, but solved different ways. Just like this one, this is the one we did. We went up 1 over 2. But you could have put your dot here and a dot there, in which case you would have went up 2 over 4. 2 over 4 is still 1/2. So no matter what, you should all get the same slope. If I had 4 students and they all did it different ways, you should all get the same answer. If you put a dot here and here, you would have went up 3 over 6. That's still 1/2. And then over here, if you put a dot here and there, you would have went up 4 over 8. 4 over 8 is still 1/2. So no matter what way you do it, as long as you line your dots up correctly, you will end up with the same answer. All right, so let's go ahead and cover this back up, and then we'll move on to our next page. There's not really a whole lot involved here. So when we go to this one, I'm not sure what you all can and can't see. So I'm just going to zoom this all in for y'all. Zoom in, because I know when you're watching the video, it doesn't look exactly the same as I see it on my screen. Look at all this work I'm putting in for y'all. I'm sure there's probably an easier way to do it. I could have just hit Control+, but That's all right. All right, so if we look at this one, follow our steps. What's the slope? So our first step was find 2 points that line up perfectly. So if I go down this line, oh, that one look how that one's close, but it's not perfectly lined up. But this one is, so I could put a dot here. All right. And then keep following it down. Oh, that's close, but not perfect. That's way off. Close, but not perfect. Ooh, that's a perfect spot. So then we have our 2 dots. Now you could have kept going and you could have put a dot right there, but we already got 2 and you only need 2. So now step 2, do I need to go from the start at the left point? Do I need to go up or down to get to that point? So I'm going to have to go down 1, 2, 3. So I go down 3. So that means it's a negative. So down 3. And then I've got to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, over 4. So what's my slope? Oh, riding with the mouse here, so it doesn't look the greatest. M equals negative 3 over 4. So there's your slope. M equals negative 3 over 4. So down 3 over 4. All right, I know that wasn't the greatest straight lines there, but you get what I mean. Find your 2 dots, find how much you go up or down, and then how much you go to the right. So I'm going to do 6 more examples like this. If you feel like you need this, watch them. Watch them. If you feel like, okay, I got it, you can skip ahead in the video to the next little thing I'm going to talk about. Kind of up to you, how you feel like you're doing. So let's look at this one. Perfect spot, crosses right there. Keep following the line. Oh, there's another perfect spot. Dot there. So now we start at the one on the left, which is this one. And then do I need to go up or down? I have to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4. So M equals. We went up 4, so it's positive 4. Now, some of y'all, I know a mistake that a lot of students make when they're counting. They would look at this, and a lot of students would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they'd put 5 there. Oh, but that's wrong. Why? All right? A lot of students accidentally start counting where they start where their dot is. All right? But you don't do that. That would be like if you were walking and I said, count me 5 steps, and before you even started walking, you went ahead and said 1. You don't do that. You don't start counting until you move. So if you're here, you're going to go up to there, and that's 1, then 2, 3, 4. So up 4, so it's positive, and then we go right 1. So M equals 4 over 1, which means that your slope is just 4. You have a slope of 4. This line is going up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. And the whole line, since it's linear, since it's a straight line, will continue to do that all the way out to infinity. It just keeps on going. All right, let's look at another one. All right, so if we look at this one, start from the left, find a nice perfect spot. Oh, there's a perfect spot, lines up. Keep going. Oh, that's close. Oh, there we go. So there's our 2 dots. So go ahead and you look at this one, figure out what you think the answer would be. And then we'll see if you're correct. So if you need to pause the video to look at it, figure out what you think would be. All right, by now, hopefully you've paused it, you got your answer, and you're ready to go. So let's look. You go up 1, 2. So 2 over, and then over 1, 2, 3. So M equals 2/3. Your line is going to go up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. And it'll keep doing that the whole way. So M equals 2 over 3. All right, let's see. We've got 3 more, but I feel like maybe y'all don't need all of these. So let's just do 1 more, and then we'll go ahead and move to the next part to look at it. All right, so we got our line. perfect spot, perfect spot, perfect spot. Yeah, every single spot's perfect. All right, so remember, we only need 2. So we got our first 2. Start at the dot on the left. Go ahead and look at that one, figure out what do you think the answer would be. So pause the video, figure that out, and then we'll look at it together. All right. So by now you should have paused the video if you needed to, figured it out. Let's look. We have to go down 1. So remember, when you go down, that makes your answer a negative answer. So we went down 1, and then we go over 1. So slope is negative 1 over 1, which you could have wrote it like this, negative 1 over 1. Either way is fine. So if you have negative 1 over 1, a positive and a negative make a negative, and then a 1 divided by 1 is, so your slope, m equals, because we always want to simplify our answers here, our slopes, m equals negative 1. So our line is just going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And it's just going to keep following that pattern. All right, so now let's move on to right here. And here, let's see, zoom, reset. Here's where everybody should be joining us. If you skipped going over these extra few with us, we're down here and everybody needs to look at these. So there are 4 different types of slope, 4 different types of slope. If we look at the first graph, as we travel from left to right on the line, the graph goes what? The graph goes up. And if your graph goes up, then you're going to end up with a positive slope. Type of slope is positive. So you don't have to draw the pictures, but you might want to write your notes. Or really, what I would do if I was you, I would just do this. I would just draw your x and your y, and draw your line going up, and then I would just label that and write positive next to it. So you know if the line's going up, it's positive. And then if you look at this next one, as we travel left to right, the graph goes down. And if the graph's going down, then you'll have a negative slope. So your slope is negative. So you might want to just draw your x and y with a line going down, downhill, so you know your slope's going to be negative. Now here's the new 2, the ones that we really want to talk about, because if you see these, you automatically should know the answer just by looking at it. This graph, it's not steep at all. It's flat. It's a completely flat line. So what's the slope? What's the hill? How much is it going up? How much is it going down? It's not. It's just flat. So your slope is 0. Slope is 0. So you just draw your x and your y in a horizontal line. Anytime you have a flat line, the slope is 0. And then our last one is, well, what if it's a vertical line? What if it's straight up and down? This graph is so steep, we can't even call it a slope. It's just straight up and down. You'd have to climb straight up the wall. So if you have a vertical line that goes straight up and down, you write undefined. Your slope is undefined, because if you try to follow our steps from up here, for this one, you'd say, okay, what's the rise over run? We'd say, okay, I go up 0, and I go over, well, you could go over 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it doesn't matter, but no matter what number you put, 0 divided by anything is 0. So if you have a flat line, look at that, almost made it straight all the way across. Oh, so close. So if you have a flat line, your slope is 0, compared to if you have a vertical line. Oh, that one's way off, not even close to a straight line. If you have a vertical line, then your slope's undefined, because that would be like looking at this and saying, okay, what's my rise over run? Well, I could be going up 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, it doesn't matter. So let's say I went up 2, and then run, how much did I go sideways? Well, I went sideways 0. Well, what happens when you put 2 over 0 or 5 over 0 or 1 over 0 into a calculator? You get an error. You get divided by 0 error. You can't divide by 0. So that's why it's undefined. It's undefined. So you got to make sure when you're doing these problems, if you get a flat line, easy, put 0, slope 0, it's going sideways, compared to if you get a vertical line, it's undefined. You can't figure that out, undefined. There's no way to solve it. All All right, let me get rid of these. All right, our next slide. So next slide was just practice, but we're not really going to go through these together. Instead, we're going to look at what your assignment's going to be. Like I said, Tuesday, it's to watch the notes. That's your Tuesday assignment. And then Wednesday's assignment is going to be, and it's a little different because if you are from my in-person algebra class, you will have an assignment on Wednesday, which is going to be to do just this top IXL, 8th grade Y1, find the slope on the graph to a score of 90, 8th grade Y1. So this is going to be the only IXL assignment you do. You're not going to worry about doing these. So this is the only assignment you're going to do is 8th grade Y1, find the slope. If you're from my in-person algebra class, that'll be your Wednesday assignment. Whereas if you're from the OLA algebra class online, you all have, it's kind of different because you all have Wednesdays as kind of like a makeup day type situation. Whereas if you're on an NTI schedule, like my in-person class, their off day is Friday. So it changes the schedule around a little bit. But the good thing is I'm going to post a day-by-day schedule on Google Classroom for this week, so you know exactly what your assignments are. You're both going to do 8th grade Y1, find the slope of the graph to a score of 90. My in-person math classes that are on NTI, this is your assignment for Wednesday. My online group, OLA, this is your assignment for Thursday, but you can do it whenever you want as long as you get it done in time. So what I'm going to do now is show you what that looks like, Y11, real quick. So if we look, here's what it looks like. So all you're going to do is look at here and follow the steps. You can't write on it, unfortunately, it makes it a little tougher, but find two spots where it lines up perfectly. So like here and there, and then count. Do I go up or down? Up 1, over 2, so 1/2. Check, make sure it's simplified. It is. I went up 1 over 2. Compared to on this one, you would look and say, okay, find a perfect spot. All right here and right there. So I would go up. Now pay attention to the scale. It's counting by tens this time. So you're not really going up 1. You're really going up what? Up 10. So that would be like up 10, 20, 30. So up 30. So go down here and I'm going up 30 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 10, 20, 30, 40. And then you would need to simplify it, which the good thing is since they're both counting by tens, you can kind of cheat on this a little bit and you know you're going to simplify it. So really you can still just go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4 because 30 over 40 simplifies to 3 over 4. So up 3 over 4, but it's always really important to check and make sure you see what your X and Y is counting by so you don't make a mistake on that. All right. Now, hopefully it'll give me one that's an improper fraction so I can show you that real quick. Look at this one. All right. Perfect spot here. Perfect spot there. You go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So you've got 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. But they want you to simplify it. So that would just be 3. Let's say we did get one where your answer was an improper fraction. Let's say you got an answer and your answer was 8 over 2. They want you to leave your answer as an improper fraction. That's fine, but you want to go ahead and still simplify it. So 8 over 2 would just give you, well, just give you 4. So you would just put 4. You wouldn't put 4 over 1. But if you get another one, when you need to simplify, if it's improper fraction, simplify it, but don't change it to a mixed number. Leave it as an improper fraction when you put your answer in. So if you have any questions, let me know. We have a Google Meet tomorrow, which is Tuesday. For anybody that needs any help, you should be watching this Tuesday, but I recorded it on Monday. So if you need help, Tuesday from 9:30 to 10, make sure, look at our calendar here. All right, so Tuesday, today, let's see, Monday, you did your slope pretest. Tuesday, you both, see, this is the in-person, so the NTI algebra class, the online algebra class. Remember, this calendar is posted to your Google Classroom, so you can check it at any time. So watch the video of slope notes, Google Meet. Both of you will have a combined Google Meet, both of you all at the same time, 9:30 to 10 for anybody that has any questions over slope. So I'll go ahead and put this in there for y'all. Y'all can really go ahead and start your work, but I want to go ahead and show you. So 8th grade Y1. So if you look, Wednesday, IXL, 8th grade Y.1. So NTI class, the purple, you all will do this on Wednesday, whereas you see that the online class has a makeup work day on Wednesday. So then the online class, IXL, 8th grade, Y1, you can say, oh, that's your assignment for Thursday. And then I'll go ahead and give you another one to do on there. And then we'll get y'all worked up. It's just weird that your schedule, you have different off days because one of you is NTI and one of you is online. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 to 10, we'll have those Google Meets. They're optional for anybody that wants to get on there and get some help. If you have any questions, let me know. Email me. If you want to set up a one-on-one Google Meet, we can do that if you want just some private help. So I'll be here. Let me know.